Sean Culpepper, and we are at the Publix in Brookhaven, which is my local grocery store, and we're going to pick up a few items to cook tonight for dinner for my friends. And my inspiration today is my cast iron skillet and my craving for corn. So we're going to go ahead and go in and see if we can get the items I need. The grocery store here is really new. They have a lot of great deals. They carry a lot of organic and natural products, which I really like. And they have a really good selection, especially with fresh vegetables and fresh meats. So we're heading over to the produce department, and I'm going to be looking for some corn, some Brussels sprouts, and some tomatoes. Okay, looking at my corn, we've got some tricolor, we've got white, we've got yellow. I think I'm going to get a couple of the yellow and a couple of the white. Those can be the nice contrasting colors. We also conveniently located, we've got a few Brussels sprouts down here. I'm going to pick some of those to use. What we're going to be making is a corn, Brussels sprout, and tomato maque choux, which is a Creole dish, and we're going to be doing a skillet fried chicken with red eye gravy. Looks like we've got some Campari tomatoes. We also got some tomatoes, which I really like. I got a really high sugar content, and it's something that I think that would go nice with my dish, so I'm going to go ahead and get those. Next, we're going to be going over to the meat department, and we're going to be looking for some chicken. The thing that I like about this place is they run a lot of good specials on natural and organic chicken. I saw that the chicken that I'm looking for is actually going to be on sale. It's Green Live, which is a Publix brand, but it's antibiotic-free. Alright, I'm looking basically for a boneless, skinless chicken breast, and like I said, I'm looking for something antibiotic and hormone free because I care about my friends. So I think I'm going to go with this here. Like I said, it is on sale, and this should do nicely for our chicken fried chicken. Next up, we're going to be looking for some eggs to use. I'm going to use those in the battering process. I'm also looking for something organic and preferably cage-free. Okay, let's see. I see here some organic brown eggs. Like I said, they're cage-free. That's what I'm looking for. So we'll go ahead and grab those. All right, I'm looking now for some Greek yogurt. I'm going to use in a marinade for the chicken fried chicken. And I'm just looking for plain Greek yogurt. Looks like we got some here. I've used this brand before. It's pretty good. It's not fat, which is good. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. And now I just need to grab a little butter and we're out the door. So we're going to go down here. One of the things I try to never skimp on is butter. I don't try to get the cheapest because butter is important to me. I'm looking up. I see actually some Kerrygold here. And I'm going to use this to finish the maque choux. This is a garlic and herb butter, so it'll add a little bit of flavor actually to that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this. And this is all we got. I've got everything else at home, and we will head back and see what we can do. Hey, this is Sean. I'm back at the house with ingredients I picked up at the grocery store. Today we're going to be preparing a cast iron fried chicken with red eye gravy and a grilled corn, Brussels sprout, and Kumato tomato maque choux. Alright, the first thing we're going to do when we're preparing this dish is we're going to prepare just a little bit of marinade for our chicken. What we're going to do is we're going to take some Greek yogurt and put it in. So we're going to take some Granny Smith apples, a little fresh lime juice, some crushed garlic cloves, a little buttermilk, some Cholula hot sauce because we love Cholula, and a little kosher salt and cracked black pepper. And we are going to put them in the marinade. We're going to turn them over good where they get coated on each side. And basically you're going to want this chicken to marinate for right about 24 hours. In here I have just a little bit of canola oil, and I'm going to add some salt streak pork, which is basically almost just like pork belly. And this is going to add a lot of flavor to the actual oil that we're going to be frying our chicken in. It's also going to help when we make our gravy because we're actually going to make our gravy in the same pan that we grill our chicken. So be careful, it's gonna pop. So basically I'm gonna get that going, start letting it render up, and all that fat and good pork flavor is gonna infuse itself into the oil. So I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. You don't want it too hot, you don't want it popping on you. Alright, next thing you do is I'm gonna grab our marinated chicken. Luckily I have some that's already been marinated. And we're going to bread that up and we're going to start frying it in our cast iron skillet. My favorite utensil in the kitchen is a cast iron skillet. I love the way that it holds the heat, and I love the way that the flavor of the food tastes when you cook in one. So, like I said, I think the temperature is going to be perfect, so we're going to take our chicken. I'm going to put on some gloves where I don't have to get the flour all over my hands. And we're going to start our chicken. What I have here, I have just a little bit of seasoned flour, seasoned with a little bit of salt, a little bit of cracked black pepper, and I got some eggs. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chicken, I'm going to shake off excess marinade, I'm going to dredge it a little bit in the egg mixture, making sure I coat it really well on each side. I'm going to shake off excess, and I am going to make sure I hit it on all sides and dredge it really, really good in this seasoned flour. I'm going to take it over, the whole thing over with me, and I am going to put it in my cast iron skillet, and I'm going to start letting it fry. I'm going to repeat the process on my second piece of chicken. Dredging good in the egg mixture. While it's cooking, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am from Scottsboro, Alabama, which is a small town. For well over 15 years, I've worked in hotels, I've worked in restaurants, and one thing I think that really sets me apart from other chefs is that I'm well-rounded. I've worked in Italian restaurants, I've worked in European pubs, I've worked in steakhouses, and I've worked in hotels, and I think that gives me somewhat of an advantage sometimes over other people because I've not just worked in one cuisine, I've worked in several different cuisines. I have a classical French culinary background as far as my schooling goes. I went to Le Cordon Bleu, and I think a lot of what I do cooking-wise reflects my French background. Looking for. So we've got a really good sizzle going in the pan. The smells great. You can see the salt streak pork is starting to render up, and that flavor is going to be releasing any time now. After we pull this out and after we brown it up really nice, I'm going to finish it off in our little convection oven here, and I'm going to make the gravy actually with the drippings from the streak pork, the oil, and the flavor that it gets from the seasoned flour from the chicken. So let's start looking and see how we're looking as far as golden brown goes. We're starting to get there. Like I said, you don't want to pull it or you don't want to turn it before it's ready to go. You want to get a nice hard fry on the dish. Alright, our chicken is just about done. We've got a nice crispy coat on both sides. I'm going to transfer it over to my sizzle pan and I'm going to finish it off in the oven. And after I do that, I'm going to make my red eye gravy right in the pan that we cook the chicken in. So, for me. The salt streak pork, like I said, is going to add some really, really good flavor to it. Thick enough where it's going to tighten up really nice. We're going to reduce this down. We're going to let it simmer. I'm going to add now just a little bit of some French press coffee that I made. And I'm going to add just a little bit of milk, which I made. Next thing we're going to make is our corn, Brussels sprout, Kumato tomato maque choux, which is a very traditional Creole or Cajun dish. First thing we're going to start out with, we're going to put just a little bit of olive oil down. Like I said, we want to make sure that they're cooked through. Nobody likes a crunchy Brussels sprout at all. So it's really, really good. So basically what I want to do is just get just a tiny bit of color before I add my other ingredients in the maque choux. I'm going to go ahead just a little bit, about a tablespoon of fresh chopped garlic. Then I'm gonna add my corn. We took this, threw it on the grill, took it off the cob. We got a little bit of silver queen, a little bit of fresh yellow corn, and we're gonna go ahead and pour that. Just gonna let this cook just for a minute. For letting that cook, I guess I can tell you why I think that I should be able to win this contest. I should be able to win this contest because I can take any ingredient, anything that you throw at me, and I can make something good at it. I think my biggest skill as a chef is my actual ability to cook. I think there's a lot of chefs out there that are really creative, really innovative, but can't cook. At the end of the day, I came up a line cook, and that's what I'll always be. It's starting to stick a little bit, and so I'm going to deglaze it just a touch with just a little bit of my favorite vodka. You hear that? And then just going to take some of the flavorings and releasing some of the fun on the dish. Like I said, and we're just going to let this cook just for a second more. I'm going to go ahead and stir my gravy a little more. It's looking good and thick. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I think it's done. Like I said, I'm just going to let this go ahead and cook out. I'm going to cook out all that taste of that vodka. I'm going to go ahead and add now just a little bit of a squeeze for my limes. And I'm not going to add my tomatoes to the very end. I don't want them to really cook. I want them to still be intact. I don't want them to be mushy. I want to really get the nice flavor, and I want to get the body too of the tomatoes. So, I think it should be ready to go. Oh yeah, nice and golden. You look. You got the nice hard crust that you get from your cast iron, and it's going to be a really crunchy, delicious piece of chicken. Alright, I'm going to sit this down. I got some green onions there I'm going to use as garnish. Next step, like I said, at the very end I'm going to add my tomatoes. I don't want them to be cold when they come out, but I don't want them, like I said, I don't want them to cook a whole lot. I'm just going to put them in. I'm going to toss them just a little bit. Then I'm going to finish this whole thing off with a little of my Marigold garlic and herb butter that I bought. So let it sit there. I want to make sure all the vodka is really good. It looks really fresh, really nice dish. I'm going to let it cook just for a second more. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat to it, and then I'm going to add my butter. There we go, we got our maque. I'm going to take it over here. I'm going to make some plates. More on this side. Alright, put that back here. Recycle my spoon. That's how we do. Alright, let me grab my tongs. I'm going to remove my chicken now. Place it right there on top. Alright. And last but not least, we're going to take just a little bit of our red-eye gravy. We'll go right over the top of that. You can see the pieces of salt streak pork that are in there. Put that right there. Make sure you have very strong wrists before you grab a cast iron with anything in it, because they are very heavy. Alright, there's that. And to finish it off and complete this dish, we're going to take just a little bit of our green onions and put on top. And there we have it. We have a cast iron fried chicken with a corn